Slowly but surely, after one of the best runs of form in the history of home, we've almost caught up with Manchester United. If we beat them today, we can go top of the league with like half a dozen games left to go. Hello and welcome to part 186 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a Premier League game at home against Manchester United, and then we're going to skip forward a little bit and do the first leg of the Champions League quarter-final against Lazio. Lazio in Europe can't go wrong. I'm fairly confident Lazio in Europe can't go wrong. Is that the quarter-final? It is the quarter-final. In other news, we're still in the FA Cup. Despite really trying to get knocked out of it, we're just a very good team. Look at how rotated these teams have been. So this was, and by the way, look at how many games we've played in the lead into this Man United game. We've played Thursday, Saturday, Monday. It's now Wednesday and we're playing Man United. But we did have rotated teams for the two FA Cup games. Beat Wolves 4-2, Brighton 4-0. But playing in the Wolves game, we had Aleph, Bogarski, Marshall, Gabarit. You might not have met him yet. He's the other attacking midfielder who came in January. Another five-star potential French attacking midfielder who scored against Wolves, and it was a great goal. Mercier played in that game as well. Off the bench, we had Blish, Essa. Lots of rotated players. Saidi was in goal as well. For the Brighton game, we had Saidi, Joksimovic, Aleph, Gabarit again, Torres, Mercier got 2 goals in that game. Looked very good. Diarra, Blish, Marshall. So rotated. But we're just still winning. Interestingly, Akemo was playing for Brighton in that game as well. Let's just see how Akemo's getting on. How's he enjoying life in the Championship after his £50 million move? As you'd expect, he's doing Akemo things, scoring like a dozen goals. And I mean, he's just, at whatever level you put him, Akemo is never going to be a prolific striker. He plays about 30 games, scores about 10 or 15 goals. He's doing it in the Championship as well. I hope Brighton are enjoying their £50 million well spent. Ridiculous. But let's not worry about Akemo. Let's worry about Manchester United. And this is the team we're putting out there to face them. We've got the best goalkeeper in the world, Powell in goal. A back four of Kandemil, Beron, Lee and Mayer. With Cristiano and Yamin in midfield. Zupancic, by the way, picked up an injury in that run of games. He's going to miss the next month or so. He's going to miss the Premier League decider and most of the Champions League run, which is a little bit of a shame. I'm assuming we beat Lazio, the Champions League run. I mean, I don't see how anything could go wrong if I count my chickens before they've hatched against Lazio. It'll be fine. We'll beat them. Cristiano and Yamin in midfield, and then Mira, Costa and Goff behind Thor up front. Mira, by the way, has now made his debut for Brazil. Finally, at the age of 22, scored in his debut, obviously, and is now considered, mainly by me, the best player in the world. 4.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. This is why some of the youngsters that we've got don't look great, because they're being compared against Mira. We had our new youth intake, and if we have a little look, this is all on Patreon, by the way. If you want a player, I don't think they've been taken as of yet, but we had a young striker come through who, in any other generation of home youngsters, Luke White is a 5-star current ability, absolute superstar, but he's only showing us 4-star potential ability. But he's going to be a star. Might not be for us, but he's going to be great. So he needs claiming by somebody, and pronto, because he's going to be a superstar. But let's not worry about our youngsters. Let's not worry about playing the rotated teams in the FA Cup. All we're worrying about is Manchester United. If we beat them, we go top of the league with 6 games remaining, and surely at that point the stuffing is knocked out of Man United as well, because they were a long way clear at one point, and we have just been in good form. Form. Oh, look, they've got my Nick Wilson up front. Oh, if he scores against me, it'll break my heart. Recent form standings have Man United 5th and us 1st. Let's show them why. I want to passionately say that, but I can't. I mean, I would say that passionately if I had the opportunity to, but we're just going to say it in a nonchalant way. So here we are, 3 points behind Man United. Any fear that we might have had in the last couple of episodes about not getting into the Champions League, that fear is gone because of the form that we've been in. We should be nailed on for a top 4 finish at this point. It's just about whether or not we can catch United and win our 3rd Premier League title and what would be our back-to-back first back-to-back set of Premier League titles. Obviously, we're still chasing the Champions League as well. Have we got a penalty here? I think Costa is brought down in the area here. We've gone over to the little telly. Can we have a penalty, please? Which, of course, will be taken by John Goff, former Man United youngster. It's actually gone down as a free kick rather than a penalty. This seems a little bit harsh, but Costa can score from here. Costa. Whew, that was close. That was very, very close. Considering how many games we've played in the last week, I'm quite impressed with how fit we are compared to how fit they are. We've got 5 or 6 percentage points of conditioning on them in every position, which is weird because they've not played as many games as we have. There's also a number of players that we'll recognise from England as well. And they've got Dianzi on the bench, former home star, but they've got Ashraf at the back who plays for our England team. Obviously, we've already looked at Wilson up front, and that is a pretty decent free kick. I'll give them that. That was an acceptable quality of goal to settle a Premier League title. The best goalkeeper in the world could probably have done a little bit better, but we're not gonna turn on him at this point. That would be awful. We know he's a wonderful goalkeeper, but we are gonna have to dig deep in this second half. If we go into the final 6 games, 6 points behind Man United, the title challenge is over, and it all becomes about the Champions League, which I guess it kind of is anyway, but. We like winning the Premier League. We'd like to carry on doing it. And now the decision has been made that we're not ending the series when we win the Champions League. I want to win as many trophies as I can to get as high up that Hall of Fame as possible. In all my 25 years playing Football Manager, more than that now, I imagine, I've never once got to the top of the Hall of Fame, ever. Because I always stop a save. Once I in the past, I have occasionally got a little bit bored when you're just winning everything every season. I don't know that I'd reach that. Oh, look at Goff here. I don't know if I'd reach that point with home because they're my team. And John Goff, that was absolutely superb. That is what you spend £113 million on. Let's just have a little look at this brilliant piece of wing play. Oh, look, it skips past his man, skips past another man, and waits a perfect pass for Thor. And Thor grabs his 19th goal of the season. He was a decent signing as well, wasn't he? And that is an instant reply. At the start of the second half, it wasn't instant, as in straight after they scored. But that's my version of instant. And if we can, it's all to play for in the last half an hour. Cliche bingo cards, get them out. There's going to be cliches are coming. I can sense them. We've got 20 minutes left. What can we do to mix things up? Costa is shattered, but I don't have Mendes on the bench, which seems like a little bit of an oversight. I wonder if we bring Cirillo on and stick Mira up front. It's a big gamble, but a draw's no use to us. With a draw, United are still 3 points clear, and we're still chasing them. Whereas, if we beat them, we may as well lose if we're going to draw. We've got to try and win the game. Cristiano, I don't have another central midfielder now. I should have popped Marshall up onto the bench. What else can I do? I've got who can come on and score a winner? Probably only Flager, but Goff is playing very well. Do we drop Goff back to right back? Maybe we're going to do that just to get Flager on the pitch. A different kind of winger. Goff can go and play right back, and he could have got that assist that he got from right back quite easily. He didn't need to be playing all the way forward on the wing to be able to do that. Mira is struggling a little bit, and I wonder if we roll the dice and bring Mercier on, who has been in form. This is a bit of a gamble, but, you got to back your youngsters. Make Thor the complete forward. Mercier can be the advanced forward. Let's demand more as well. I know it's not really a game we necessarily would be expecting to win. Thor's in here, though. Mercier's not aware of what's going on, but Thor is in and forces the save out of the Man United goalkeeper. Can we demand more now? We still can't. Cirillo with the corner. It comes over. Yamin just over. Right, come on, let's demand more. For the last 5 minutes, can we somehow grab a winner from somewhere? A draw leaves us in the race. A win puts us top of the league. We've got a minute and a half to try and grab that winner. Lee now one of the unsung heroes of home over the last 5 years, tries to find Thor, doesn't get there, but they were still keeping them under pressure with our excellent pressing game, which Goff epitomises there, but Flager actually missed out on the ball, and it's kind of set up a little bit of a Man United counter-attack here. We need to be aware of what's going on. They've got men over on that far side because Candemil was pushed forward, and then Goff playing at right back, can't win the header. I mean, Goff's 6'5". He's a better bet for winning that header there than Mayer was, so I'm not gonna say it's my fault for changing the right back. Oh, I think we've just handed Man United the Premier League title, though. How does Goff miss? That guy must be a giant to outleap Goff, because we know how big Goff is and how good he is in the air as well. Let's go attack him. I mean, I did say we may as well lose if we're going to draw. We went for it. It didn't really come off. Hopefully we do better against Lazio, because I don't think we're winning the league this year now. It's Champions League or nothing. Or, I mean, the FA Cup's still there. We'll continue to play the reserves in that, but we've never actually won it. So that'd be a nice thing to win as well as a consolation prize if we don't get anything else. Well, maybe we're not out of this title hunt after all. We just absolutely tore Tottenham apart. This is what the Premier League table looks like, if it ever loads up. So there's still only a 3-point gap behind Man United, so presumably they must have lost. They did. They lost to Wolves. Wow. So with 5 games to go, the gap is down to just 3 points again, and we have a superior goal difference. Don't write us out of the title hunt just yet, but of course, that's not what we're worrying about now. We're worrying about Lazio, and this is the team we're putting out there to take them on. We've got Powell in goal, a back four of Alif, Hervé, Lee and Mayer, Cristiano and Yaman in midfield, Sorelio, Costa and Goff behind, Mira up front. Let's get into the game. Some big calls in there, by the way, as well. Candemil wasn't fit. That's why Alif is in. There's an argument to say Alif might have been in anyway. Hervé for Beron, though. That's a big call, but Hervé has been absolutely superb. You can see from his rating, a 7.31 for this season so far. He is our highest rated centre-back. We've had a trading report come through which says he's now a 4-star player, better than Beron on star rating, and very nearly up there with Lee. We also had one for Juranovic as well, who is at the same kind of level. So we've got 4 very, very good centre-backs at the club now, which is a very pleasant situation to be in. Obviously, we probably need to give Juranovic a little bit more game time as we move into next season, because he's the one who's homegrown. So it makes sense to have him as a regular and have the others kind of floating around him maybe. But obviously at the moment, Lee is considerably better than the rest of them and has been a star for a long, long time. But I think him being away at the Asian Cup for a month is one of the reasons why the likes of Hervé and Juranovic have been able to push on, because they got so many Premier League games during that time. And I think that exposure to first team football has been a big help for them. Obviously, Hervé had that a couple of years ago when he was here on loan as well, and is now a proper part of this team. Powell plays it to Lee. I'm not very comfortable with how much Lazio are closing us down here. Hopefully this is the start of us springing a counter-attack. Goff skips past a couple of players, finds Cristiano. Cristiano is in, and it goes just over. First proper attempt of the game so far, and now we've got a throw. It's Goff to Costa. Costa back to Goff. Goff skips past a couple of men again. John Goff's up for this today, isn't he? We're gonna have a Goff moment. I can see it coming. Those of you who said Goff was a waste of money because we already had Flager's great, but Goff is clearly an elite footballing talent. He's one of the best players in the world. Was a major reason why we were able to win the World Cup with England, and he started very brightly today, although his rating doesn't necessarily indicate that, and he's tiring quickly. So I don't think he's going to see the entire game out, especially with Flager there on the bench. It doesn't make sense to risk an injury to Goff. Right, dig in, etc., etc. Although, to be fair, it's the away leg. We're happy just not losing. A 0-0 is fine. A 1-1 is even better than a 0-0, because then we get the away goal. Obviously, dream scenario is we score a goal or two without reply, but we don't need to wrap it all up in the first leg. I need you to come back tomorrow and it still be interesting. So got to leave a little bit of doubt there. Goff, despite being central to all the highlights so far, is apparently not doing anything else other than those 2 highlights. So Flager for him is a pretty easy change. I think Probably Thor for Sorelio is another fairly straightforward change. We tend to play those two together like this more often than not now anyway. Mira is really pushing himself into the team as our inside forward on that left-hand side now. But he's not playing great today, and we have got Torres and Mercier who can both come on and play on that side for him. Costa floats over towards Thor. Thor hits the crossbar, and Mira can't quite turn the rebounding ball into the back of the net. That's probably the best chance of the game so far. We've got a corner now. It's bobbling around in the area a little bit, and Lazio are panicking. They've cleared it behind again. It's Costa to take another corner, and it's Flager, and it hits the top of the crossbar. Look at the state of these stats. We've absolutely ripped Lazio apart today, but can't quite get the breakthrough. We're going to bring on Torres for Mira for the last 10 minutes to try and help us do exactly that. We're going to have 10 minutes of passion to finish things off as well. If we can find a goal from somewhere, that would be lovely. Oh, Lazio's first proper chance of the game. It's their first shot. Oh, no, it's not their first shot on target because it went wide, but it's the first time Lazio have done anything worthy of a highlight. I think it is going to be a 0-0. And Lazio, they're becoming our bogey team. Yamin, though, with a brilliant interception in midfield, finds Thor. Thor misses out on the ball, but there's Torres. Torres bursting through, and he should have done better there. Torres skies it. I think he's bottled that a little bit. Aleph nods it towards Torres again. There's a minute left on the clock. Lazio have got the ball, but we're putting them under pressure in their own half, closing them down. Ball over the top. Maya's got it covered. Lee nods it back to Maya. Maya tries to release Torres, but it's actually Thor who's chasing it, trying to close down his man and the keeper. Thor's just doing all the running. Hervé wins the header brilliantly. Flager's in behind, squares it towards Thor, who can't quite get there. We are absolutely chasing a goal here. I don't think it's coming. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. We've left ourselves with work to do in this second leg, but we've looked very, very good in the first leg. That kind of domination at their place, and you'd like to think, I'm going to say it wasn't good enough. Stressed a couple of them out, but we should have scored a goal. I'd like to think, based on those stats, we should have enough about us to complete the job in tomorrow's episode, when we'll do the second leg, and I guess we'll also do Liverpool in the league. Seems to make sense. We seem to be back in a title hunt, so we might as well show you some league games as well. So Lazio and Liverpool tomorrow, and hopefully we'll end the episode right back in the title hunt and in a Champions League semi-final for the second year in a row. I'd consider that a job well done. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.